Welcome back to Newsday. Senator Okonkwo represented Anambra Central District in the National Assembly between 2007 and 2011. Despite serving only one term in the Red Chamber, Senator Okonkwo contributed substantially through sponsorship of bills such as the one that eventually birthed the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. Sadly, the soft-spoken senator, who was one of the calming influences during the political turbulence that engulfed his native Anambra state in the early 2000s, died on June the 7th, 2023 in the United States. Joining us now to have a quick chat about the life and times of the late Senator Okonkwo is a media consultant, Collins Ugwu. Good to have you on Newsday. Thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome.
Thank you, dear Rice family.
Now, you had years of association with the late Senator Okonkwo. Can you tell us what kind of man he was?
Yeah, distinguished Senator Okonkwo, who happened to represent Anambra Central in the Senate between 2007 and 2011, was a man of character, a man of excellence, a man of exploit in business, a man with a heart of compassion to the people he led and the people who are his friends, an excellent man of the family, a special lovebird to his wife, Lolo, Lady Chinyere Okonkwo. It's his political legacies are too many, but when you compress it to action points, you find out that he leveraged on his size of reach to escalate political understanding among his constituents. When he was at the Senate, he not only concentrated in bills of national importance, he dedicated most of those parts to things that are essential to living and livelihood. And that was why one of the bills that really stuck to him as a signature was the bill or the Nigerian Essential Commodities Bill. He felt that Nigerians, with the struggle that we have, with the exploits and blessings the nation has, that all it would take was good leadership so that Nigeria could really have life at its fullest, have the basics in education, have the basics in health, having basics in infrastructure. So and he wanted to make it a constitutional matter. The Nigerian Essential Commodities Bill, so that the components of being a Nigerian will be elevated to a point of pride. We can all walk the surface and be proud as Nigerians because of our capacity and capability. It's one of his regrets. And I think, maybe something he also passed on and say, Nigeria must continue to strive to attain that greatness that he wished he would have seen.
All right, if I may come in, you alluded to specifics in some of his political journey, but why do you think he played that type of politics, in terms of his commitment to the country?
I think it has to do with his breed. It has to do with also his persona. When you have the kind of a history that distinguished Senator Okonkwo has, he was the first of 6 children to the family. The father was a businessman in the historic city of Aba. And by that standard of that time, doing very well. So he came in as the first child. And of course, with education and grooming in the foundations of that business. So before he finished secondary school at 18, he already had the knack. He had gone through the grill. He had gone through the furnace of trials and apprenticeship under the tutelage of a disciplinarian that his father was. So he saw the sufferings. He saw, you have to go through a process to be productive. So he took it and ran with it to remain productive. So he wanted to infuse in the Nigerian political scene that have been totally very unproductive, the productivity of the business acumen, of the business background, so that we, the people, become the center of action, center of activity. That's what, drew him, into the service of politics. The people caught up with that, they loved him. It's not really because it's looking the size he was, he's not small, but it was because of the size of his heart. And
so, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah. Why then do you think he wasn't returned to the Senate?
The politics of that time, we are still a work in progress in democracy. People's popularity, people's rate of compassion and compatibility with what we need to do, competence, are not giving the mileage of what it should be in the election process. We need to fumigate it. We need to institutionalize processes of cleansing so that the empirical facts of people's capacity becomes really determinant. The election, wasn't the best of what it was supposed to be. Otherwise, he would have a walkover. The clamor was that, and he would go for second term.
In view of what you just, I understand you're still going to be still going through the process of a funeral, final committal, and yes. Can you give us shed more light where he will be buried and all that?
The latest version of it was just what we came out with on the 17th, which was a service of songs and tributes. Yesterday was a requiem mass I held at Falomo here. The final burial processes will commence on the 29th of August, with another night of tribute, due to his town, and then with a burial mass on the 30th. He'll finally be lowered to the ground, for his soul to return, which has, of course, returned, to the Creator, a path that, probably all humanity will travel. Mm.
Well, finally, before we let you go, what do you think will be his enduring legacy?
His enduring legacy right away will be his size of giving. He was a man that became an exemplary giver, an exceptional family man, and a man that has the simplicity of access that nobody that came to him was turned away. It's a testimony on the lips of everyone. And a bigger one, too, on the size of Nigerian national scale, was what his immediate, his junior brother, Mr. Tony Okonkwo, said live on the day of the tribute, that the senator was confident that God loved him. And he gave him a message, to tell people to really be happy, right, to accommodate the inevitability of the process. And then he was also vocal on the cause of death, so that Nigerians can know that death is not a mystery. It is something that people need to really know, so that they can also be aware.
Very good.
Why they are alive.
And on that note, we'd like to thank you very much, Mr. Collins Ugwu, media consultant, for giving us an insight on the lives and times of late Senator Annie Okonkwo. It's good to have you with us.